All right guys, the Rivian is unbelievably fast, and this is a launch. Just check this out. Oh my God, that is 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. That's almost 100 miles an hour right there. Unbelievably fast. How's it going, everyone? My name is Adam and welcome back to Driven Nashville. If you happen to be new to my channel, we produce weekly enthusiast-driven car and truck content, and today we have a Rivian R1T Adventure. Guys, this thing is unbelievable. It is very, very fast. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, 910 foot-pounds of torque and 840 horsepower, 310-mile range from a 135 kilowatt battery, qualifies for the $7,500 tax credit. This thing's packed with excellent build quality. There's no panel gap issues. The interior doesn't rattle. I gotta say, I'm really impressed by this thing. For $76,000, which is what this owner actually got this truck delivered for, it's a ton of value. Now, the question is, would you pay $20,000 to $25,000 above MSRP, which they're currently going for $115K in a color like forest green? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that. But either way, we're going to go through the entire truck today, inside and out. We're going to take a point of view drive, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. If you do, give us a like, share this with anybody you think might enjoy the content, and let's get into that next clip, shall we? First thing I want to talk about, guys, is the carabiner key. Is that not a cool design or what? I love that. It's so adventure. And then you also have a key card here similar to Tesla. But one of the coolest things about the key, from my point of view, is if you go ahead and push this twice, it'll go ahead and open up the front trunk, which is fully automated. I really wish Tesla offered this feature. Even the Volvo had a little latch here. So this makes the big front trunk actually usable. It has a light here, has your locking cable here, and then if you pull this open, you actually get even additional space. And if you want to close it, you just push that twice and it goes ahead and closes it. That is one of the best front trunk technology on the market today. No doubt about it. I want to spend just a moment and talk about this color called forest green. Guys, check it out in the sun. Look at this. It has a beautiful flake. And I gotta say, this is a really, really great color for this truck. And also notice all the yellow accents, right? The yellow in the Rivian, the yellow here in the brake calipers. And then as you come onto the inside of the truck, they have the yellow here and they have the yellow here, and just really cool strategic places, right? So it really pulls in the color palette right here. And then also as you come back here in the wheels, here up top in the locking, here at the logo here. So again, exterior wise, love the color forest green. And I also just want to talk about the build quality for a second. Look at the build quality on this, guys. Like, just check it out. Look at the panels. Perfect. There's no panel gap issues. This is not plagued by the awful Tesla build quality. And I have a Model X and a Model S, so I'm the first one to tell you they're not the best build quality. But notice all the panel gaps. Like, for Rivian's first production vehicle, they really nailed this thing. This is probably one of the best built cars from the exterior that I've ever seen. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. All right, guys, let's talk about the interior of this car, which I gotta say I'm really impressed by. Now, this is the Adventure Touring package, so this isn't necessarily your top spec, but it's pretty close to it. Definitely not your low spec. You have a Meridian sound system here, nice cover on it. I like the functionality here that these actually pull out. Really like the design language here of how you open the door. Nice built-in metal-looking trim here. The wood here actually feels real. It feels like you can get a splinter from it. As you come over here, check out these seats. Really, really, really good looking seats, guys. Love how they built in Rivian here. They have the nice little yellow accent here. You have nice leather. This is all pleather or fake leather, but still really cool design language. Looks masculine. Your seat controls are right here. I like the aluminum pedals. I like the overall trim, just the overall carpeting here. It just feels really high quality. And then as you actually come onto the inside, you can see all the TFT displays. You have your 2 buttons here on the steering wheel as well. And it's just nice. You have a lot of storage in the car. Push those 2 buttons here. You can see you have a lot of interior storage. 2 USB-Cs built in here. And then as you come around, tons of storage here, phone charging here. And you also get a built-in, fully functional Bluetooth speaker that you can actually anchor and secure in the back of your truck if you want. If that's not cool, I'm not sure what is. couple of other interesting design points. You can see here the wood and the trim. It has the Adventurous Forever right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And then this is just kind of a nice, kind of a, I don't know, almost like a fabric material built in. And then these are not adjustable by anything you could do yourself. You actually have to use the screen, which requires you to turn on the climate control. And then you can see here, you can move these vents up and down, and that's how they'll change direction. But you can't actually do that manually, except in the rear, which I'll show you here in just a second. But overall, really like the cockpit. Notice everything is Alcantara suede, built-in speakers here, built-in speakers here, leather wrapped all up here. Really just nice place to spend time, guys. It feels super, super premium here. I gotta say, I'm really, really impressed. You have an SOS button as well up here, your you know, hazard lights. You have your full moonroof here. Again, the yellow stitching up here, built-in speaker right above your head. Overall, this feels like a really premium cockpit, I gotta be honest. All right, as we come on back to the rear here, again, passenger seats, really, really nice, very similar to the front. Notice how you have a nice built-in place here, 2 cup holders up front and 2 cup holders back here. And this is also really cool. If you have anything in that little access tunnel, you could access it there. Now I've got my seat pretty far back because I'm 6 feet tall, and you can see here I've still got a good 2 inches. So as an adult, I can be very comfortable back here. This also has another built-in USB-C here and here. And then if you want to hang some shirts or hang anything like a nice iPad, for example, for the kids, that's built in. Love that feature. You can also hang some stuff back here as well. You do have a screen back here and the ability to actually control the vents yourself, which would have been nice on the front, but it is what it is. 2 more USB-Cs here, and this is how you can adjust your climate control. I do not believe you can do any media from that currently. But just take a look here at the view. Full moonroof back here. Nice built-in grab handles if you're going to take it off-road. Again, built-in speakers here and here. Overall, it's a really, really nice cockpit, guys. I am super impressed by what they did here. I really am. It's pretty fantastic. All right, next I want to talk about some of the actual practicality of this truck. First of all, you got to mention here this pass-through tunnel. To activate it, you push this. It's on both sides. This can support 250 pounds. There's actually a light built into this, as you can see here. So if you actually need to see in here, you can. Comes with a 12-volt charger here and a DC charger there. Also has a if you get locked in here mode to unlock it. But guys, just look at that. That's a really, really cool feature that locks with the vehicle. And then as you come back around here, this is a fully waterproof tonneau cover. If you want to stop it at any point, you can stop it, and then you can actually go back with it. Is that cool or is that cool? It also tucks away, look at this, completely out of sight. Now that is one of the best damn tonneau covers. It's also made out of metal too, so it can actually hold quite a bit of weight if you need to. If you want to open the rear here, push this. Or not. All right, there you go. That should have opened automatically. Not sure why I didn't do that there. So there's, I guess, a cork for you. Now, coming in the back here, you have a couple of hooks right here. You also have an air pressure tire pump here. So if you're going to be taking this off-road, you can lower the PSI and then raise it when you get back on the street. And here is where you actually have your safety security cables, which I'll go ahead and demonstrate here in just a moment. And that is a couple of excellent built-in features. And then as you come around over here, you have a couple of 12-volt outlets. I mean, unreal amount of functionality back here. You also have a couple of hooks up here at the front, and you have lights back here. This is also already covered in a really nice protective feature, and they also give you a rear tire. I mean, come on, like such a cool amount of functionality built into this truck. Now, one negative is you don't have the step-up lift that Ford gives you and GM and a lot of those manufacturers. So that's the only negative. Now you can lower the vehicle. This is air suspension, but either way, to climb up this thing, you know, I'm 6 feet tall. It's going to be a little bit of a step up, no doubt about it. This does have the available 21-inch wheels. You can get a 22-inch wheel. You can also, I believe, get a 19 or 20-inch wheel. These are 275 Pirelli Scorpion tires, and they're 275 front and rear, 21-inch wheels all around. Overall, I really like the look of these. These are two-tone. They have a polished here, and they kind of have more of a kind of a darker gray paint color here. Unfortunately, you can't really see much of the actual brakes, but I do believe you could pop this off and really, you know, help open these up. These just pop out, as you can see. So actually, when you pull this out, you actually can get a pretty darn good looking wheel out of this car. Let me show you also real quick one little Easter egg here. Similar, you have the Rolls-Royce with a built-in umbrella. Check this out. You have a built-in, isn't that cool? Look at that. A built-in 1000 lumens flashlight. And it charges itself from the door. Again, another really cool design feature from the guys at Rivian. All right, real quick, before we take a point of view drive, I wanted to have a couple of options just to show you. So if you click this right here, the 4 tires, you can see here, this is where you change your modes. So you have everything from conserve to off-road to towing to all-purpose. I've currently got it in sport mode. You can also adjust. If you go to all-purpose, you could go ahead and change your ride height. So you can see here, now I'm actually raising. It's very, very quiet. What you're actually hearing right now is you're hearing the air conditioning system. You're not actually hearing the tire inflation system. So it's very, very quiet to initiate that. You can see here, you can change your brake regeneration from standard to high. Stability, you can change from on, reduced, or off. This basically allows no traction control if you want to have some fun in the rain. Your ride, you can go from stiff to soft, which I guess is default. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it on stiff initially and the brake regen on high. I will tell you, the brake regeneration on this is pretty intense, no doubt about it. You can see here, the car is brand new. It's got 115 miles on it. This interior color is called Black Mountain, if you were curious. This also allows you to go ahead and do Rivian support, which was a phone number. One thing I did want to mention on support real quick is if you order one of these trucks, you get a dedicated customer service rep before delivery and also after delivery if you have any questions, which is really, really, really cool. And I'm actually going to talk about that here in just a minute. You can see here you can change some of your display lights at night. All of this trim lights up, which is cool, and you can even adjust the lighting of that. I just turned it up. You can't really see it in the day though, but I'm sure at night it stays really cool. So a couple of other quick little things to mention here. Similar to Tesla, this will record anybody walking by the vehicle, and this is actually what we'll go ahead and show. It's this really interesting character, and again, I won't be able to demonstrate it right now because I don't have anybody around me, but go ahead and check out some videos of that. It's really, really neat. It also has an alarm, which will go ahead and alert people if they're being monitored, in addition to having this kind of fun character show up. And let me tell you, when you park this vehicle in parking lots, it's going to get a whole lot of attention because just nobody's seen them, and it's just a really cool vehicle to check out. If you want to watch the videos, you go ahead and see videos. Obviously, this being a brand new vehicle, we haven't had any. If you want to go back, you just push this button right here. A couple of other things. It's got the energy on it. It's showing 203 miles of range. You can see here it's got the accessory powers that are all turned off. Your charging amperage you could set here. You can set charge limits here, 85, 170%, which is really cool. Overall, guys, I mean, there's a lot of goodness going on here, I gotta say. I'm really, really impressed by all the things that they did, considering this is one of their first vehicles. This does have Bluetooth and everything you're gonna need. You can adjust here your EQ settings and everything. You've also got built-in Spotify as well. And if you want to turn on the radio, you can go ahead and do that. So overall, very, very impressed by everything I'm seeing so far. You can also see here, you've got, similar to Tesla, some streaming stations and whatnot popping in here. All right, guys, let's have a quick little heart-to-heart about pricing of these, okay? Now, this is just what I know today, all right? It is currently about August 13, 2022, right? So the owner took delivery of this truck, paid $76,000 MSRP, had a couple of upgrades, the 4 screens that upgraded color, etc. Since that point, and he was able to lock in the pricing with Rivian because he ordered it a long time ago. Since then, these have been going over MSRP between $105,000 and $115,000 for a similar spec truck. Now, if you were to go on Rivian today and spec this exact vehicle, you are going to be paying about $86,000 for the exact same vehicle. Now, it still does qualify for the $7,500 tax credit, which is excellent. But overall, they've raised the price of the MSRP by almost $10,000. I don't know if that's due to demand. Most likely it's due to inflation. From what I've been hearing is Rivian's not really making much of a profit when it comes to these vehicles. Now, another question you might be curious about is what happens if I have a problem with my Rivian, especially if you live in the Nashville area, because there isn't currently a Rivian dealership. However, Rivian dropped this car off. So Rivian's headquartered in Irvine, California. They dropped this vehicle off to Atlanta at a hub there. I guess there's some type of a law that they're using with Georgia that allows them to get around having the franchise dealer network, similar to how Tesla does it. Now, once it was in Atlanta, what I told you earlier, you get a concierge when you order the truck that communicates with you before and also post delivery if you have any questions about it. They were able to put this truck on a flatbed and deliver it to this owner's home, and there you go. I mean, you can't beat that, right? And they didn't charge him any additional monies to deliver it from Atlanta. They also offered him the option to drive to Atlanta and pick his own truck up and get it a few days faster. But of course, who would want to do that and you know, have to put all the miles on it? So that was really cool. Now, if you have a problem with the Rivian, they're gonna go ahead and pick it up and take it to Memphis, which is currently the only service center in, I believe, this area. However, I've heard a rumor that off 5th Avenue down in Franklin, Tennessee, Rivian is building a service location. So they're really going to be investing in the service centers similar to Tesla, and that's really the #1 issue that I would have if I bought one of these, is if I had any problems with it, what would I do? It's not like buying a Kia EV6 or a Volvo C40 or a Lightning F150, because all of those you can just take to any one of the service locations near you, probably not more than 10 or 15 miles away if you live in a city, and you're gonna be just taken care of. This thing, you gotta contact a concierge, they gotta arrange pickup for the truck, they gotta take it to Memphis, they gotta diagnose the issue. Probably gonna take a bit longer to get your truck back if you were to have a problem with, say, a Lightning. Real quick, the other thing I wanted to mention, since I've been living the EV life for quite a few years, what is going on here? Guys, the truck's unlocked. The key's in my pocket. All right, it's not wanting to open. I think I just inadvertently demonstrated what it's gonna be like to own a vehicle like this. You're gonna have some quirks. I don't really know why it wouldn't open like that, considering the vehicle's unlocked, but it is what it is. And that is the AC, by the way, turning on, which is quite loud. But I wanted to mention real quick, if you wanna do fast charging, you're gonna have to undo this, and this allows you to do up to 150 or even 300 kilowatt charging. I will tell you, and I just want to make a note on camera about this, good luck trying to find Electrify America stations that have the activated fast charger. So if you buy this vehicle, you have to understand you're going to be early adopting. You do not have the same level of infrastructure that Tesla has with the supercharger network. I promise you, just be prepared to have longer service stops and probably have a couple of areas that are more rural where you're just going to have no charging options at all, or very, very few. I will tell you, if you're worried about this being an electric car not having a good AC system, you can rest assured. I've got this thing right now on full blast, as you could probably hear, and wow, it pushes a lot of air at you, and it's working great considering it's a 90-degree hot day today. So good job on the AC system. All right, guys, let's take a little point of view drive so you get the vibe of what this truck's like. I'm gonna start off here in all-purpose mode here. We're gonna go ahead and go to standard height, which is gonna lower the vehicle. As you'll be able to see in the camera, it lowers pretty quickly. In order to get this vehicle going, you literally just go and put the turn stock right here. It's gonna keep it in hold. And it's done adjusting the height. And as soon as you're ready to go, you just go ahead and tap on the accelerator. It doesn't make any noise. Now, this road's actually pretty bumpy, so it's a good demonstration. This car is very comfortable. It has a lot of technology in this vehicle that goes ahead and helps it with stability control and lane keeping technology and adaptive suspension and air suspension. So overall, the driving experience on this vehicle is great. It feels like a truck in a lot of ways. You sit up high, but it's just fun to drive. It's got a great sense of steering feel. Very tight, actually, very sports car feeling. I mean, you can see here, there's not a lot of give, and we're not even in sport mode. So you're gonna know what this truck's doing every second that you're driving it. And I mean, we're doing 60 miles an hour here. You could feel it. I mean, it just feels super sporty, like it has just power for absolute days, because it does, let's be honest. And you know, you go ahead and give it the beans, and I mean, it scoots, guys. All-wheel drive. You got quad motors set up right. You got 200, roughly about 210 pounds for each motor, and there's 4 of them. You know, obviously 2 for the front and 2 for the rear. So overall, I will just tell you on a first impression, this thing drives really great. It's frankly great. I mean, the regen works really, really well. If you get used to it, you almost never have to use the brake. All right, guys, let's go ahead and demonstrate lane keeping technology on this car. In order to activate that, it's the basically the gear selector here. And you just want to go ahead and do it twice. And now it's locked in. It's set me at 54 miles an hour. All right, it did not do the steering, I guess, but it did do the unavailable on this road. Okay, so unlike the Volvo C40 and unlike the Kia, it would appear that you cannot activate lane keeping technology on a back road, only on a highway. Let me double check and confirm that. It says unavailable on this road. Okay, well, there you go. That's one thing that Tesla does have. Autopilot comes standard, which will allow you to navigate on these types of roads. Although nowadays, autopilot on the Tesla is actually $6,000 additional monies. When I got my Model X and I got my Model S, I will tell you both autopilot came standard. You did have to pay for FSD though, so this will never be able to fully self-drive itself. Now, I don't think it's gonna bother most truck guys that buy this thing, because it's actually a lot of fun to drive. Let's take it on the highway though and see if it'll go ahead and self-drive on the highway, because if it doesn't, that's a really big miss for this company. You know, guys, one of the things I'm really enjoying about this car as far as the self-driving, it doesn't have lane change, it's never going to do FSD, full self-driving, but all you have to do is hit any one of these buttons. That's similar to Tesla, but when it says keep your hands on the wheel, all you have to do is kind of tap either part of this wheel versus jerking it. One thing I don't like about my Teslas is you do have to give them a jerk, and sometimes you really have to jerk it and actually kind of can pull you offline, take it out of autopilot. So that is a really nice feature. All you gotta do is do that with the wheel, or you can just keep your hand there either way. So you have multiple ways of engaging the car and telling it that you're still paying attention, which I do really like. A little bit of a chance to spend 2 days with the vehicle. The overall driving experience is exceptionally good, but in sport mode specifically, the throttle just has a little bit of a, I don't know how to explain it. It's not quite dialed in yet with the software. If you're going full beans like that, the car feels amazing, or the truck feels amazing, right? Tons of power. But if you're just kind of lugging it around town in sport mode, it just has like this weird feeling of regen and then power and then regen and then power that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite dialed in. It's only when you're just babying it, right? Now, if you go to all purpose, that goes away. So there's something about sport mode when they're giving you the full bean capability that it just doesn't quite feel as dialed in with the software when you're driving it around town, unless you're just going for it. But when you change the mode to all purpose or conserve, that goes away entirely, and it just feels like the best car you ever driven. There's absolutely no lag. You have instant torque. It's quiet. You hear a little bit of wind noise, but not nearly as bad as most trucks. And I gotta say, I could easily drive this thing. I might turn off that lane keep technology because it's a little intrusive. It will kind of, vibrate and jerk the steering wheel. But overall, guys, you're gonna really, really enjoy driving this truck. It has all the benefits of a truck in that you sit up high and all the functionality, big space, big cockpit here, very airy. But you also have all the benefits of a sports car with 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. I mean, this thing absolutely decimates everything on the road up until about 90 miles an hour. I mean, you'd have to have an SVJ or a GT2 RS to keep up with this thing. And in fact, to about 80 miles an hour, this would beat both of those cars to 60. If that's not insane, I don't know what is. You know, real quick guys, I just turned on the cooled seats, which right here you can see, you go to that, and then you can have heated steering wheel, you have heated and cooled seats, and the cooled seat actually does blow air-conditioned air. Absolutely fantastic on a hot day like this. You know, one thing I wanted to mention real quick, guys, is this is a really good truck for off-roading. Because you have a motor on every single wheel, the software can electronically distribute power and torque to the wheel that has the most amount of grip. Now, I wouldn't necessarily take this truck off-road with these Scorpion tires on it, because these are definitely street tires. However, if you want to go ahead and put some really good all-country tires on here, some off-roading tires, I think this thing is going to absolutely decimate all off-road. And, you know, with all that power and torque, you're not going to be able to, there's very few places, let's just say, that you're going to be able to not get to. All right, guys, if you made it this far into the video, really want to thank you for watching. I gotta say, I really enjoyed this truck. I think that Rivian definitely has a hit on their hands. I'm not sure the company should be worth as many billions of dollars as it currently trades on the public market, considering they're probably not making a lot of money on this truck. And I'm also a little frustrated that you can't actually get this truck for $76,000 anymore. If you went on their website, like I said earlier, this thing's $86,000. And if you're not able to even get that allocation, if you want to just go to the used market, you're gonna have to pay well north of $100,000 to get one of these. Even at Manheim right now, these are still going over $100,000. I mean, they're going for like 105, 110 grand. It's just absolutely crazy. So that is what it is. But do I like the truck? Hell yeah, I like the truck. The interior of this thing is great. The exterior is cool. I mean, look at the styling, right? It's good looking. I like the rear. I love the paint color, forest green. I like the front headlights, like I said. I like the way the wheels look, especially when you take off those plastic bits. It's just a really cool modern truck. I'd say I like it, you know, like any normal F-150. Like the Lightning looks cool too. I like that they didn't do something totally radical like the Cybertruck, right? It still looks like you can drive it and just enjoy it for what it is, which is just a nice pickup truck, right? The only negative really is the price. You know, do you want to have $1,000 a month car payment? Plus, you know, I mean, if you get one of these, you know, aftermarket, you're going to pay $1,400, $1,500 a month for a car payment. And that's going 72, 84 months. I mean, definitely an expensive truck, guys, if you're going to pay six figures for it. At MSRP at 86, it's still expensive. I got to be honest. I think if this thing was 60 grand, and they were actually able to make money on it, maybe they will one day, but, you know, 135 kilowatt battery pack, it can't be a cheap truck to produce. I mean, it weighs almost 10,000 pounds. And I didn't mention, but it does tow too. I think you can tow up to 13,000 pounds. So it's just checks a ton of boxes if you want to own a cool truck. And I really like it. Hope you got something from my video today. I covered a lot of the points as succinctly as I possibly could. Hope you enjoy our point of view drive as well. And we really appreciate you watching. If you made it this far, please give us a like. Please comment if you have any thoughts, and we really appreciate it. That's it for me. Next shot is a drone flyaway, and we will call this one a day. I'll talk to you later.